guys, it's Julia from Jutland, and today we are gonna continue talking about the Goethe Zertifikat C2. My plan is to give you some strategies, some algorithm I used during preparation for all the parts of the exam. It has 4, and we're gonna start with reading part as it goes first chronologically in the Goethe Zertifikat C2. Stay tuned, hit the thumbs up button. So the first fact you need to know about reading part of Goethe Zertifikat C2 is the duration of this part. It lasts for 80 minutes. It seems to be enough, it seems to be a lot, but still always keep in mind that you won't have any extra time based on my experience. So the key to success in this part is automated algorithm strategy that you apply every time when you see the exact task. We'll start from the beginning and I will show you on the example of every of 4 tasks that are represented in this part how to go gradually, not to waste time, and get the most effective result. All the examples I show, they are from the sample test on the Goethe Certificate website, so you can download them for free and just go through it. That's what I suggested you in my last video when I started talking about the whole process of preparation for this exam. So the first task is a multiple choice test. I find it one of the most complicated ones. I would say second most complicated. So what you start with, you read the sample question and underline the keywords. Right after that, I read the first actual question. I underlined the keywords in the question and all the options. Only then I started reading the first paragraph of the text. You know, the thing is, it always goes chronologically, the answers to all the questions. You should only read the part where you are supposed to find the answer to the first question. Don't read further, that's important. If you feel you have found the correct answer underlined in the text, just not to lose it, you can stop reading the text and come back to the questions. You can read the second question. You underline the keywords both in the question and all the variants. And then you come back to the text. Read the small part, find the answer, come back to the questions. This is the process. You should never read the whole text beforehand, just to understand the whole point, the main idea. Focus on the questions and the answers to them. Be thoughtful, but don't spend too much time on one question. Sometimes it's better to switch between different questions because the brain so understands the key point deeper when you are going through it somehow. In the second part, you need to match the statements with small text. You have 8 of them before the texts, and we start from the point that we underline all the keywords and we define the main idea of every thesis, of every statement. And only then we start reading all the small text and matching them. But it was quite an easy task, so let's just move to the third one. Because the third task in the Goethe Zertifikat C2 reading part is mind-blowing. Used to be mind-blowing for me, because as I opened it for the first time, I was like, I will never be able to do it myself. It's too hard. But here I am, I got used to it, I trained a lot, but you know, every result needs some training. Of this task is to complete the big, mostly scientific text, very complicated one, with missing paragraphs. You have 7 missing paragraphs. What I would start with, I would briefly read the introduction of the text just to get the idea what is it about. After that, I would read all the missing paragraphs. They're quite big, I would say. You need to underline the keywords and then start reading the whole text, keeping in mind all the main ideas of the missing paragraphs. The most important point of this task is to pay attention to certain words, linking words, such as dieser, jener, dadurch, damit. They connect 2 parts. The name can be mentioned in the paragraph, and then in the missing paragraph there would be the pronoun of this name, er. oder sie oder wir. Pay attention to repeated words as well and reference to anything written earlier. Be very careful with it. It can really help you, even if you don't understand every single word in this text, because texts are usually super complicated. Just pay attention to the small words in the beginning and in the end of every paragraph. Highlight them, and this is what will help you to succeed. The last, fourth task is quite easy, but still there are some points you need to be careful about. The last task, you need to match the key points with the announcements. You have 8 key points and 4 announcements. Announcements can be like scholarship or project, course advertisement, so anything. What do you start with? So you start with reading all the key points, underlining the details. So here you really need to pay attention to the details. And the most important advice from me, what I noticed during the preparation to this part, sometimes, very, very rarely, but still, you need to keep it in mind, sometimes there can be 3 key points for just one announcement. So it would mean that for next announcement, there can be only 1 point. So logically, you know, like if you have 8 key points and 4 announcements, you would say, so each text, each announcement would have to have 2 key points, but it's not always like this. Very rare, but it's still possible and can be very, very tricky. My general advice for you is to work in a fast tempo. Always keep in mind that you won't have enough time for thinking too much. Be very considerate and structured. Your mind needs to know the structure and to be disciplined, and the only way is to go through as many variants, sample tests as possible. When you're getting ready for the exam, don't use the dictionary. Underline all the unknown words with another color of marker or highlighter, and then after doing this reading part, look for them in the dictionary and write them down, either in Quizlet, or if you like old-fashioned technique, you can just use the notebook. There are many ways to learn new words, you know about them. I think that might be it, because I have shared all the tips and strategies I have used during my preparation to the reading part. So the key is always the strategy. You need to learn the strategy and go through it gradually. Training, so it would be, so desirably it needs to be done every day, or at least every 2 days, just to keep your brain accustomed to this process. I wish you a good day, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.